Good morning. It is Friday, April 24th. Of course, we're looking at the S&P 500 and just make sure we have everything loaded properly here. Okay. So yesterday we just want to recap on that. Coming into the morning, I think this was happening right when I was recording. It was about 5. And there was certainly some bigger pullback that was possible, and we gave the scenario for that. But then ultimately this held. They came back and held right here. These are today's prices. So this was yesterday. We had 99.25. They held here at 98.75. And then we had really the first bigger picture target was up at 33.25, 33.75, somewhere up there. So this area, and then we probed. We had a KP that was 2 ticks away from here at 37.25. We probed up to there, and then we pulled back. Remember, so we got a little pullback here to 24, a little bounce up to 32. And then came right down to key turns and held there at 1550. And then, and of course in the morning over here we said could pull back to 07.25 or 05.25. We pulled back to 07 half. And actually I think we had 08.75 and 05.25. And we did have some support right in here. But just seemed likely that we'd get a little bit bigger pullback, and then we didn't get that. So that was what it was, and you just got to go with what the market's giving you there. Stalled out up here, and then of course I wasn't here for this, but there was that news about the vaccine or the drug for COVID-19, and that sold us off to 86, and then we bounced back up. We had the KP here at 17. And then ended up selling off here again to 85, and then on the bounce said we could bounce back up all the way back up to key turns really, but we had 12 and 14.50. We bounced to 13, and we said that should get us down to 82.75 and eventually 79, and the low tick of the regular session was 79 to the tick, and then bounced a little bit from there. And then if you remember, let's look here, what we had outlined. In the morning, we'd said that we could pull back to 71.25, even 68.75, but that would just be a minor break for 65. And then 59.75, and that would be for 54 to start off. And then we could see more, but that would basically be it for that scenario without any further break. And then I'll show you what I said last night was it's more like 64.75 instead of 65, and then 58.25. And I should have said instead of 45, it was more like 45.25. And so what did we have? So this first initial move down, remember we said 71.25. The low there was 71. Then we got some bouncing, and then the next move got us down to 64.25. Remember, 64.75 was what we said. So it bounced down to there. We bounced back up to key turns here, and then put in a double bottom here overnight, and that was at 55.25. And the next real breakdown was at 54.75, or sorry, 54.75. So we held above that within 2 ticks. And since then, we've rallied over 50 points or so. A little over 50 points. And there you have it. So that brings us into where we are right now. And I want you to have that whole bigger picture, so you're piecing all that together of that in the bigger picture, there wasn't a breakdown. And we went within a couple of ticks twice of testing for a bigger breakdown, but no bigger breakdown. Okay? All right, so coming into the morning, we have this key turn area at 73. We've come back up here to that 07. Now remember 07, I mean, if you put your crosshairs right there, or you draw a horizontal line in around that 07 area, you can see how much they've been trading that area just the last little bit. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 times we've basically come up and dropped from there. So this market, I really have to just say this again, just so you keep this in the front of your mind, is that this market, what's going on in this market is not normal. And I'm not up to date on the stimulus news, but I don't believe that anything has been passed yet. And so, as far as I know, that's not actually been passed. And so we'll have to see, likely we're going to put a, I'm guessing we're going to see that today. We'll find out more about that. So here's what we have so far. Very, very possible we can get some pullback, and this 81.75, maybe giving that to 79.75, 79.25, so right in that area, so maybe giving it right to there. And then anything lower than that is probably a little bit of a bigger break for, well, that would be a very minor break for back here to this area. And then below here would be a bigger, below the 73 area would be a bigger break for down to 63.25. And then below that would be, we'd still have to go test for this breakdown level down here at 54.75, but below that would start to be it would really start to be a big break. Okay, so that would open things back up. Like you see the CPs down here, that would open up these CPs. This is going to be hard to get through, no doubt, if they were to come back down here, but so maybe test for the breakdown and actually break, and then see some bouncing from between 50 and 44.25. See some bouncing from there, maybe even back up into this area, but that would likely be for selling. We'd have to see how that all goes at the time when it gets there. And then very possible down into these CPs, and then even more is possible, but we'll take that all one at a time as all of that's unfolding. This is not out of the question by any means. But that's not in the picture right now either, so don't get that stuck in your head that that's what's going to happen, because that's not the scenario. I'm just giving you that in the event that it comes into play. Okay. So one of the big things about this is you have to remember to just keep what you and I think the market should or shouldn't or can and can't do, and really keep that out of the picture. Okay, so unless we start to break down, like that bigger scenario that I outlined here, a bigger break below here, we're gonna see this it's probably 85, it's probably 85 today actually, so 85 exactly today. So there, and then right here. So this is this 85, and then yeah, we have the CP there, but probably better would be to give it to that 79.25 area. And then that would be a minor break for down to here. That's only 7 points or so. And then, that would be a bigger break. So there's that. And then on the other side of this, if we start to get some more momentum and we can start pushing back higher, minimum would be back up into here, really. and then back above here it starts to get pretty strong, and we've definitely got some room to go up into here, and then obviously there's a fairly big gap up into here, and let's see, I didn't put this in, but 65 is going to be an area that we want to watch, those two, so the CP there and then 65. So we'll just have to see. It's still early. The open will normally give us some pretty good, very possible we get some more pullback by the time that we get the open. And of course I'll be active in the room, but just want to outline a few things for you there. The biggest thing to stress is stay flexible. Don't get married to any certain idea of anything happening here today. The markets have been all over the place. And while none of us really think it makes sense that the oil market's crashing, that unemployment is at insane, unbelievable numbers, so far, this, it's quite possible we come back up here and retest for some higher highs up here. Okay, so there you have it, and I will see you in the live trade room. Stay flexible and just go with what the market's giving us, and we will get on the right side of it, one way or the other, if we're just flexible about it. So I'll see you there, and good trading today.